G'day friends, my name is James, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. Today you're joining me for the Junk Journal July 2024 challenge on day 15. The prompt is homemade and I'm going to be turning this huge pile of paper bags into one of my homemade jumbo junk journals.
I guess I'm lonely, I'm starting to grow old, and I thought my youth would last forever. Take me back.
So the cats, Oliver and Bianca, have been big fans of the ever-growing paper bag collection that's been hanging off that doorknob for the past 7-ish months. It was around Christmas time, I think I started amassing my collection of gift bags when I noticed they were entering the house at a rapid velocity. And I've been saving them ever since for the sole purpose of making this huge junk journal. A few years ago I did this for a December daily. I used the grocery bags that we got from Trader Joe's, the brown paper bags, and I made a jumbo journal out of it. Just because I wanted something really huge to work in with paper that didn't feel like it had cost me a lot of money and I wouldn't feel too guilty just kind of sticking all my junk in there. And I've loved them ever since. So this one I felt like would be kind of a more variety version, since it was going to be all different bags from all different stores.
I'm afraid that I'll end up here alone. Hope you'll understand how much I need you. Take me back to when we
I had the weirdest visual when I was putting this junk journal together and I was going to describe how I had done it. And then I also remembered that I did film a video early 2024 on how I made a jumbo journal. So I'm going to link that in the description box just in case you want me to walk you through it. This one's a little bit more aesthetically put together than the other one. A little bit of an easier watch, I would say. But the other one is a lot more informative. So I'll link that for you in the description box below. The thought that came to my head was that if I were to describe this, it's kind of like filleting a fish. Even though I've never done that, I assume that it kind of looks like this. You kind of open it up and you take everything that's inside out and then make it presentable, which is essentially what I'm doing with all these bags. I rip them open, I take out any of the cardboard at the bottom or any of the handles, and then I chop off all the gussets at the bottom to make them look nice and presentable, and then I have all these little leaves that I can place together as journal pages. I came across a very great problem to have. I actually had too many paper bags. I've been collecting them for so long and I don't even know why I didn't think earlier. I used to make these jumbo journals with 3 to 5 bags. So this was a ton. It wasn't until I put them all together here and I kind of looked at the layout that I thought this is too many. So I did end up splitting the book in half and I made 2 different jumbo junk journals. One that I'm going to use just for fun and today in Junk Journal July, and the other one I'm going to use for my Virtual Voyage 9 workshop that's probably already started by the time you've seen this, so I've been using it. Unless I change my mind. I could always change my mind. Right now when I'm filming this voiceover, I have every intention of using it as my Virtual Voyage 9 journal.
Hey, I heard you got a new best friend. Yeah, it hurts a bit. I won't pretend that it doesn't matter that you're with someone else.
I want to believe that if I possessed an ounce of patience in my bones, I would do this properly. But even then, I probably would still not, because my philosophy about journaling is do whatever I feel like doing whenever I feel like doing it, and I rarely feel like binding these things properly, especially this because the pages don't all match up, they're not all the same size, so sometimes you're punching that needle through 16 very thick paper bags, and then other times there's only 8 of them, and it's just a lot. It's a lot on the fingertips. I probably should have found one of those little thumb, what are they called? The thimbles? A kiss from Peter Pan. I probably should have found one of those. I didn't, and I just sacrificed my thumb for the day. Did not end up using that thumb for the rest of the day because I'm pretty sure it's broken. I couldn't be bothered. Look how wonky it is. I think there's a certain charm to just getting it done and making it happen. it's just a lot. So I will tell you, if you're someone that does struggle with your dexterity, this is going to be a pretty big challenge for you to just kind of push that needle through. So I'd recommend that you do the good job of measuring it out and doing the all punch, and maybe getting some bulldog clips and holding your pages together and doing all this stuff that every other YouTube tutorial will suggest that you do, that I decide to skip. Because I don't really care for perfect results. You can see, there are my 2 journals, wonky as ever, but they're bound, and I'm so excited to use them.
I need to tell you, you were my best friend to the end. I hope I'll be happy without you. But right now I don't know what to do. It's hard to get over. You chose someone else, a new best friend.
Right, now we're at the meat and potatoes of the video. This is what you've been waiting for. This is my junk. This is a little box, a little cardboard pick box that I use for my Etsy store. It lives near my desk. Every time I come across a piece of garbage that I think I just can't throw away, and it's most garbage, honestly, I won't throw away anything really, unless there's food still in the wrapper. Even then I'll probably go and clean it off and save it. I put it in that little box, and my rule to myself is whenever it gets full, I need to have the journaling session to unload it. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm getting rid of all my junk, and I'll let you know what's in here.
But you're with someone else. That's why
Starting off, I have taken my photos and I've cut them all up. I use really big photos in these journals since they are humongous. I don't have a dimension on this one, but they're at least 12 by 12 inches. They're definitely bigger than scrapbook pages. So these are pretty hefty journals, and for that reason, I can print really large photos, which is great. That's not something I can do in most of my other journals. I regularly work at about an A5 to A4 size, which I think is still kind of big, A4, but this is huge. These are jumbos, so I really have no limitations to what I put inside the journal, and for that reason I print many photos at a much larger size. I use a glossy label paper so that when I printed my photos and I cut them up, I don't have to glue anything. I can just peel the backing off and stick them down anywhere. It's quite a thin label paper, so if I do overlap some of the ephemera, you can kind of see what's underneath it, but you can see the way I put everything in this journal. It's not supposed to look super neat and clean and like I was intentional with everything. In fact, a lot of the time I lean into the first thought, best thought mentality, where even though that's not real in real life, most of our first thoughts aren't the best ones we could come up with. It's kind of my reminder to just not overthink any of it. If I feel like taking all these little pull tabs from my checks that I get from work and making a little sensory experience on the edge of the page, I'm going to go and do that. And I'll do anything that gives me a reason to use my tiny attacher. I love the Tim Holtz tiny attacher. I love the mini staples, and I use thousands of them.
I dive into you when summer's fading. There's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun.
Aside from photos, I have lots of photos. I also have lots of food packaging. I think food packaging is probably what I come across the most on a day-to-day basis, and I tend to save a lot of it. It not only chronicles the kind of taste that I have throughout my life and the things that I might be enjoying, but sometimes the food is from fun places and it just has beautiful packaging. You never really realize until you save all this stuff and you look back on it, but there's a lot of design elements that go into almost everything that you pick up. Even the mailers that you get from certain companies, they'll give you a little postcard thank you, and even their mailer will be designed to match their brand and their labeling and their packaging and all of the branding. I just love all of that. There's so much creativity that people pour into so many random facets of the junk that we come across and collect. So I really do like to look back at all of that. And even since I've started journaling, there have been different companies that have changed up their packaging or, done certain special seasonal type things. And I just like to capture that moment in these junk journals. I think it's going to be so fun to look back at 25, 40 years from now and see what it all looks like. This is my Collage Club binder. I have 3 of these. They are a 1-inch binder, and I just fill them with all of the Collage Club printables that I make every month. We are in our 4th year of Collage Club, and I have used so many of the sheets already, and I have every single sheet in my back catalog, but these are all the ones that are still currently being used, and from time to time I will just pick out anything that I think either fits some of the stories that I want to write about, or fits the spread, fits the theme. I don't tend to fuss too much, and to be honest, for my jumbo journal, sometimes I just pick out ones that I think I just enjoy that day as I flip through, and I'll just add some decoration to the page. I'm taking a red pen that is, I want to say, a permanent marker type pen. It's one of those ones you can write on everything, glass, plastic. Those pens are kind of the best for this because you can see all the different surfaces, from that brochure to the different packaging, the gloss of the photo paper, the different bags, the different coatings that are on those bags that the journal is made of. Sometimes it's hard to know what pens will work and which ones will just slide right off, so I kind of cut my losses and just stick with those Staedtler permanent pens. I think they're called Lumicolor. Let me grab one. I have one right here. Lumicolor Permanent by Staedtler. There's a red, green, blue, and a black. I use those pretty much always for stuff like this, but I do know that some of the bags are essentially just paper, so you can just draw straight on top of them.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, life is a bliss. Waking up with you in my arms, I've got it all, and nothing's amiss. Everything is beautiful, Sunday morning snooze.
Like I said, I don't really discriminate with what junk I put in my junk journal, and one of the more common items that you might find, or little pieces of my life that I do manage to get documented in there, is cat hair. I have the cat hair from Oliver and Bianca mostly everywhere you find the invisible sticky tape. It's a gift tape by Scotch. No, it's called Magic Tape. I used to have the gift tape. I don't know what the difference is between those two, but they're essentially just a regular tape that I use for my gift wrapping at Christmas, and for some reason it just attracts cat hair and it sticks to the side of the tape, and I try to get them off, but at this point I just kind of accept it as, you know, just an extra element of journaling. That most of the time when I try to use this tape so you can't see that I'm using tape, it is highlighted by little black and white cat hairs, and I would say you'd find cat hair on most every page. Probably a smudgy thumbprint from me, and then some cat hair from the cats. And as much as it used to kind of annoy me, now I think it's just a special piece of history that I'll always have documented.
Under the sky so blue, I found my
And that wraps up my contribution for Junk Journal July 2024. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find some joy and success with your Junk Journal July endeavors. I can't wait to see what junk you have journaled this month. Thank you so much for having me a part of the challenge this year. I have really enjoyed being a contributor, and I hope you have a great Junk Journal July. This is the finished spread in my newest gift bag jumbo journal. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Until I see you next time. Bye.